And welcome back to another episode. I'm Josh with Beyond the Ballpark. Uh, we will not have Pat this episode. It will just be me alone. And today I'll be ranking all MLB ballparks. We're gonna start at number 30 and go all the way down to number one. This is my opinion, so do not just want to let you know like this is my opinion. Your opinion is different, of course, and that's fine. But this is my opinion, and I just wanted to share it. So at 30, I have Tropicana Field. That's probably most of people's uh number 30. It was formerly known as Florida Suncoast Dome from 1990 to 1993, located in St. Petersburg, Florida. Tropicana Field, known as the Trop, was opened in 1990, and um and in 1993, the Tampa Bay Lightning moved to the facility, and its name was changed to the Thunderdome until the Rays, um, until the team moved to their new home in downtown Tampa in '96, and later in '96, Tropicana, a fruit juice company, as you know, based their company nearby Brandon and signed a deal, naming rights deal. Um, Number 29, I have the Oakland Coliseum. It's currently branded as Ring Central Coliseum. Um, Former names Oakland Alameda County Coliseum from 1966 to 1998, 2008, 2011, 2016, 2019, 2019, and 2020. Network Associations Coliseum, McAfee Coliseum, Overstock.com Coliseum, O.co Coliseum, and Ring Central Coliseum, which is the current name. Um, it was dedicated to Ricky Henderson and is known as Ricky Henderson Field. So it's kind of a mouthful. Oakland Coliseum, Ring Central Coliseum, and Ricky Henderson Field. It's kind of big mouthful. Um, in 2017, they dedicated it to him. It's located near Interstate 880, and it was the former home of the Oakland Raiders from 1966 until 1981 when the team moved to LA, and again from 1995 to 2019 when the team moved to Las Vegas. And since then, it's been primarily used for baseball, but it also has been used for soccer, including hosting San Jose Earthquake matches in 2008 and 2009, and during the 2009 CONCACAF Gold Cup. This Coliseum has seating capacity up to 63,132 people, and an upper deck dubbed Mount Davis by fans was added as a part of 1966 renovation for the Raiders' return to Oakland. That's all I want to add for Oakland Coliseum. Number 28. This one, it's an okay ballpark in my opinion. Not the best, but it's okay. Great American Ballpark where the Reds play. That's where the Red played. It held the 2015 All-Star Game, located in Cincinnati, Ohio, as you know. It's it serves as the home stadium of the Cincinnati Reds and opened on March 31st, 2003, replacing Synergy Field, formerly Riverfront Stadium. The Reds' home field from 1970 to 2002. Great American Insurance bought the naming rights to the new stadium for $75 million for 30 years. At 27, we have Chase Field. Chase Field, formerly Bake One Ballpark. It's a retractable roof stadium in Phoenix, Arizona. It opened in 1988, the year the Diamondbacks debuted as an expansion team. It was the first stadium built in the United States with a retractable roof, and we'll get on to Rogers Center later, which was the first one with a retractable roof over a natural grass playing surface. Um, that's basically all I have for that one. Uh, it has held international baseball tournaments, college sports, obviously concerts, events, and international women's soccer matches. Um, the park was built during a wave of new baseball only parks in the 1990s. So that was when owners wanted to just have the stadiums be only ballparks, like baseball fields, like how we talked about the Oakland Coliseum earlier, a house the Raiders went before they moved to LA, and then back again before they moved to Las Vegas. It held them. Um, and that's like when Chase Field was made, they wanted to have something where they could only be a baseball stadium. Chase Field's also known for its pool and outfield, which is fun. Uh, Number 26, we have Angel Stadium. Angel Stadium in Anaheim, which is located obviously in Anaheim, California. It was opened 56 years ago in 1966. It has served the home ballpark of the LA Angels for 50, 60 years. That's a long time for a ballpark to be open. And it was the home stadium of the LA Rams from 1980 to 1994. The stadium is also referred to as the Big A, coined by Herald Examiner sports editor Bud Furlow. It is the first oldest active ballpark in the majors behind Fenway Park, Wrigley Field, and Dodger Stadium, and hosted the All-Star Game in 1967, 1989, and 2010. It was formerly known as Edison International Field of Anaheim from 1988 to 2003. It has held football games, baseball games, soccer games, a motion picture set, and many and many high school and college football games. And number 25, we have Rogers Center, which we talked about earlier, former known as the Sky Dome. Most people probably know it as the Sky Dome. More people who watch baseball in the late 80s, early 2000s, all throughout the 90s know it as the Sky Dome. Rogers Center, which was obviously originally called Sky Dome, is a multi-purpose retractable stadium in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. It's situated at the base of the CN Tower near Lake Ontario, which the stadium opened in 1989 on the former railway lands. Is obviously Toronto Blue Jays play there. Previously, the stadium was also home to the Toronto Argonauts of the Canadian Football League and the Toronto Raptors of the NBA. The Buffalo Bills of the NFL play an annual game at the stadium as part of the Bills Toronto series from 2008 to 2013. It hosts other large events such as convention, trade affairs, concerts, traveling carnivals, circuses, and monster truck shows. Number 24, I put Globe Life Field. It is a new park, retractable stadium in Arlington, home ballpark of the Rangers. Just located south of Choctaw Stadium, the Rangers' former home ballpark. Um, it has held college football games, concerts. Recently opened. A capacity 30,300. Um, On May 20th, 2016, the Rangers announced that they would vacate Globe Life Park, and they announced that the new stadium was to be constructed in a public/private partnership and have a retractable roof, and was announced on the architect in 2017. On 2019, the Rangers announced that the playing surface of Globe Life Field would be carved with a synthetic grass. Synthetic grass. At 23, we have a local ballpark to me. No, not Camden Yards. Camden Yards is way better than 23. Nationals Park. Nationals Park, located in Washington, D.C., in the Navy Yard neighborhood area. It was the first LEED certificate green major professional sports team in the United States, designed by HOK Sport and Devereaux and Purnell architects and planners. The ballpark cost $693 million to build. $84.2 million was spent on transportation, art, and infrastructure upgrades, bringing a total cost to a whopping $783.9 million. The stadium has a capacity of 41,339 people. Which something I found really cool. One of my favorite parts about going to the stadium. I haven't gone a lot. I've gone maybe 5 times. But the Washington Monument and the Capitol building are pretty visible from the upper decks on the first base side of the field. And I have not seen it, but I have walked on the upper deck area and been able to see it. I have not sat first base side upper deck. It hosted the 2018 All-Star Game, at which Bryce Harper, the former National, actually won the home run derby. I believe his last year there. It hosted games 3, 4, and 5 of the 2019 World Series, which they won, the first in the city since 1933. There's a metro right nearby. It is held. There's a lot of things it's held. 2009. There's been a lot of things it's held. It held the 2015 NHL Winter Classic. As I said, 2018 Major MLB All-Star Game, the 2019 World Series. At 22, we have a ballpark that is also in the NL and is quite. It's home to a Cy Young Award winner, Lone Depot Park, home of the Miami Marlins. It's a retractable roof stadium, obviously located in Miami. It's the site of the former Miami Orange Bowl. And it was completed in March 2012 for the 2012 season. It was LEED certificated as the greenest MLB ballpark in 2012. This building is the 6th MLB stadium to have a retractable roof with seating capacity of 37,442. It is the third smallest stadium in Major League Baseball by official capacity, and the smallest by actual capacity. The facility has a second round pool of the 2013 World Baseball Classic and the first round pool of the 2017 WBC. And it's the 2017 Major League Baseball All-Star Game, which Aaron Judge won the home run derby that year. Which, so far, that's the only home run derby he has won. It has held college football games, soccer, international soccer matches, concerts, and a lot of other events. At 21, I have Guaranteed Rate Field. Is the home stadium of the Chicago White Sox, located in the south side of Chicago. One of the city's 2 major stadiums, and it's owned by the state of Illinois through the Illinois Sports Facility Authority. It was completed at a cost of $137 million. The park opened as Comiskey Park on April 18th, 1991, taking its name from the former ballpark at which the White Sox had played since 1910. Guaranteed Rate Field is situated just to the west of Dan Ryan Expressway, Chicago's Armour Square neighborhood. It is adjacent to the famous neighborhood of Bridgeport, and it is obviously the lesser known stadium in Chicago. Its first opening date was April 18th, 1991. Now, a lot of notable names have played at this ballpark. Frank Thomas, Bo Jackson, Jose Abreu, Tim Anderson. Jose Abreu is now on the Astros. Tim Anderson, and a lot of young rising stars like Luis Robert. I'm probably missing some guys, but I gotta keep this going. So at 21, I have Citi Field, which is located in the Queens area of New York City. It was built as the replacement for the famous Shea Stadium, which opened in '64. Citi Field opened in 2009. It is located obviously in Queens, as I said before. The capacity is 41,922 people. With Sandy Room be 45,000 plus. It held a 2013 All-Star Game, 2015 World Series. Held lacrosse games, hockey games, soccer matches. It's famous for the home run apple, the Jackie Robinson Rotunda statues, and the Mets Hall of Fame Museum. The Citi Field was designed by Populous. The 850 million ballpark was funded with $650 million of public subsidies, including the sale of New York City municipal bonds that are to be paid by the Mets with interest. The first game at Citi Field was on March 29th in 2009, which was a college baseball team between St. John's and Georgetown. And they played their first two games in April 3rd and 4th in 2009 against the Red Sox. We are now getting to the top 20. Before we get into the top 20, I just want to quick talk to you about something. We slash out videos regularly covering the Orioles a lot, as we're the Bird's Eye View podcast. I really hope if you guys could like, drop a comment down below, subscribe, hit that notification button. Because if you hit that notification button, you're gonna get notifications on when our next video uploads. You can also follow us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Pat takes care of that stuff. This video will be uploaded right after I finish. On Apple Podcasts and Spotify, it usually takes a bit longer for it to upload, especially this video, as Pat is not here recording with me. But I just want to say thank you all for our support. It's been a slow start, only 8 subscribers to our channel. But I just want to let you guys know that I really appreciate the support. And if you ever want to hop on with us, we're glad to have guests, different insights on the baseball world and what is happening. Just drop a comment. Let us know what you have to say. You can ask a question or anything, and we'll answer. Most of the time, we'll answer. We'll either comment or shout you out in a video if you want. But let's head into the top 20. Number 20, Truist Park. Truist Park. Originally, SunTrust Park is located in Atlanta. Home of the Atlanta Braves, was opened in 2017 with a budget of $622 million. Called Marietta Coliseum, an exhibit hall authority issued up to $379 million in bonds for the project. The county raised an additional $14 million and $10 million from transportation taxes and $10 million from cash from businesses as to help out with the stadium. Located on Battery Avenue. Sorry. Uh, it, this was built after Turner Field. No ballpark. Uh, Braves hosted soft opening season ticket holders. Preseason game against the Yankees, and the first regular season game at the park was held on April 14th, 2017 against the San Diego Padres. SunTrust Banks originally bought name rights to the stadium in 2014 after a merger in 2020. SunTrust became Trust Financial, and the ballpark was renamed. That's basically all I have for 20. Let's head to 19. Busch Stadium. Busch Stadium, it's also referred informally as New Busch Stadium or Busch Stadium the Third. Located in St. Louis. From it, you can see the arch, uh, which has a seating, which the same as seating capacity of 44,494 seats, with 3,706 club seats and 61 luxury suites. It replaced Busch Memorial Stadium, aka Busch Stadium the Second, and occupies a portion of that stadium's former footprint. Commercial area dubbed Paul Park Village was built adjacent to the stadium over the remainder of the former stadium's footprint. Stadium opened on April 4th, 2006, with an exhibition between the minor league Memphis Redbirds and Springfield Cardinals. Both were the affiliates of the St. Louis Cardinals, which Springfield won 5-3, with right-hander Mike Parisi recording the first win. The first official major league game occurred on April 10th, 2006, as the Cardinal defeated Milwaukee Brewers 6-4 behind Albert Pujols home run and winning pitcher Mark Mulder. Next, we have 18. It's a nice ballpark. Crazy fans known for their Philly cheese steaks and Philly fanatic. Talking about Citizens Bank Park is home of the Philadelphia Phillies. Stadium opened on April 3rd, 2004, and hosted its first regular season baseball game on April 12th of the same year, with the Phillies losing to the Cincinnati Reds 4-1. That's a devastating loss for your first game at your new ballpark. It is named after the Citizens Financial Group, and the ballpark was built to replace a 33-year-old, now demolished Veterans Stadium, which is a multi-purpose football and baseball facility that was demolished in 2004. Uh, Citizens Bank Park features a natural grass and dirt playing field, uh, and a number of Philadelphia South football stands, which is kind of cool. It serves cheesesteaks, hoagies, tasty cakes, soft pretzels, yards, Yingling beer, and a lot of other regional specialties, which I find really cool. That's like you see that a lot, but the way they like expand on it is really cool. You see that with like Camden Yards, they have the crab fries that are die for. But we'll get into Camden Yards later. Um, but it's located in the corner of the sports complex, which has Lincoln Financial Field, Wells Fargo Center, Xfinity Live. Um, Stadium seats 42,792 people. Uh, let's head on to 18. 18 is a pretty nice ballpark, I would say. Uh, American Family Field. American Family Field, retractable roof stadium. A lot of these are retractable nowadays and is used for baseball, obviously, primarily at least. Located in Milwaukee, it is home of the Milwaukee Brewers. It opened in 2001 as a replacement for Milwaukee County Stadium. That is a mouthful. Both these names are a mouthful. They make a mouthful for their names. I mean, I get Cam Yards somewhat of a mouth. Not really, but like in my opinion, like 3 words for a stadium name is a mouthful, and I've seen like 4 words for a stadium, which is kind of a mouthful. But and the stadium was previously called Miller Park, uh, as in a part of a million name rights deal with Miller Brewing Company, which expired at the end of 2020, which is why it's called American Family Field. Uh, said saying which American Family Field features North America's only fan-shaped convertible roof, which can open and close in less than 10 minutes, and large panes of glass allow natural grass to grow, an argument with heat lamp structures wheeled out across the field during off-season. Now that is very cool. The only problem is the Brewers aren't that good. I'm sorry, they're not. I mean, I'm sorry, we're not supposed. I mean, I'm messing around. Okay, they can pitch, they can't hit. Okay, let's move on to 17. 17, Comerica Park Stadium, located downtown Detroit, and stadium and home of the Detroit Tigers since 2000, when the team left Tiger Stadium. It's held Hockey Town Winter Festival, soccer games, baseball games, obviously, and some concerts. Founded in 1894, the Tigers had played at the corner of Michigan and Trumbull Avenues in Detroit's Corktown neighborhood since 1896. When Beneft Park opened in 1911, new Tigers owner Frank Navin ordered the construction of a new ballpark to be built on the same site. Opening in 1912, the ballpark, which eventually became known as Tiger Stadium, serves as the Tigers' home for the next 88 seasons. By the mid 1990s, it had become apparent that the much beloved ballpark had become obsolete and could not renovate any further. Comerica Park sits on the original site of the Detroit College of Law. Groundbreaking for the new stadium was held on October 29, 1997. At the time of the construction, the school board in left field was the largest in Major League Baseball. It was part of a downtown revitalization plan for the city of Detroit, which included the construction of Ford Field adjacent to the ballpark. The first game was held on April 11th, 2000 against the Seattle Mariners. Tigers beat said Seattle Mariners in that game 5-2, which people attended a cold, snowy afternoon. The first game in Michigan at the new stadium was snowing. That's kind of cool in my opinion. Number 16, World Champions, Minute Maid Park, the Juice Box. It's another retractable stadium, Houston, Texas, opened in 2000 as a home ballpark of the reigning champs, the Houston Astros. Has seating capacity of 41,168 people, which includes 5,197 club seats and 60 luxury suites. It's got natural grass. It was built as a replacement for the famous Astrodome, the first dome sports stadium ever built, which opened, and I'll give you a second to try to guess real quick. All right. Don't know if you got it, but hope you did. 1965. Former names include the ballpark at Union Station, Enron Field, and Astros Field. Moving on to the top 15. Progressive Field is a Major League Baseball stadium, obviously, which is located in Cleveland, Ohio, is the home of the Cleveland Guardians, formerly known as the Cleveland Indians. And together with Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse, it's the part of the Gateway Sports Entertainment Complex. It was ranked as MLB's best ballpark in a 2008 Sports Illustrated fan opinion poll. The ballpark opened as Jacobs Field in 1994 to replace Cleveland Stadium, which the Guardians, then known as the Indians, had shared with the Browns of the NFL. Since 2008, the facility is named for the Progressive Corporation based on the Cleveland suburb of Mayfield, which purchased name rights for $58 million over 16 years. The previous name came from the team owners Richard and David Jacobs, who had acquired name rights when the facility opened. The ballpark is still often referred to as the Jake, based on its original name. On to number 14, the Kauffman Stadium. Located in Kansas City, Missouri, it is home to the Kansas City Royals and is part of the Truman Sports Complex. Together with the adjacent Arrowhead Stadium, home of the Kansas City Chiefs and the NFL, the stadium is named for Ewing Kauffman, the founder and first owner of the Royals. It opened in 1973 as Royal Stadium and was named for Kauffman 20 years later on July 2nd, 1993. Since its last major renovation in 2009, the listed seating capacity is 37,903. Uh, the stadium is the sixth oldest stadium in the majors and has hosted the 1973 and 2012 MLB All-Star Games, along with Royals home games during the 1980, 85, 2014, 2015 World Series. And between 2007 and 2009, the stadium went over a $250 million renovation, which included updates and fan amenities, a new Royals Hall of Fame area, and other upgrades throughout the facility. Now, in 2022, this year, the Royals announced intentions to leave Kauffman Stadium before the stadium's lease ends in 2030 and build a stadium in downtown Kansas City. Now, I can see that happening, but if they do that, I hope they keep the same type of idea, especially with that scoreboard. That scoreboard is iconic, especially with the crown on top. I hope they do something like that again. I really like uh the water out there. Another thing to add is Kauffman Stadium was built specifically for baseball during the area when building multi-sport, quote unquote, cookie cutter stadiums was commonplace. Often held up along with Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles, one of the best examples of modern stadium designs. Moving on to number 13, Yankee Stadium. It's located in the Bronx, home of the New York Yankees, arguably one of the best, probably the best baseball team of all time. Now, I I'm an Orioles fan. Hurts to say that, honestly. Oh, I'm gagging right. Oh, why did I have to say that? I feel really bad about saying that. But it is the home field of the New York Yankees and the New York City FC in the MLS. Opened in April 2009, is known as the Stadium, also known as the house that Jeter built and the house that George built. The old Yankee Stadium was known as the house that Babe built, or the house that George built. Had multiple names. Also currently known as Old Yankee Stadium, or original Yankee Stadium, which will operate from 1923 to 2008. It is situated on a 24-acre former site of Makeham's Dam Park. Stadium replicates the design elements of the original Yankee Stadium, which is located right nearby. I'm pretty sure like it's across the street or around that area from Yankee Stadium. The stadium is the third largest stadium in MLB by seating capacity, and it was began construction in 2006. The project spanned many years and faced many controversies, including the high public cost and loss of public parkland. It cost the $2.3 billion stadium, built with $1.2 billion in public subsidies, is one of the most expensive stadiums ever built. It became the home field in MLS expansion club New York City FC which is owned by the City Football Group and the Yankees. Moving on to pretty. Honestly, I think the stadium is beautiful. A lot of people don't agree, but I think it's just beautiful. Target Field, located in Minnesota. Minneapolis. Well, obviously Minnesota, but downtown Minneapolis hosts the Minnesota Twins. It's located in the historic warehouse district in downtown Minneapolis since opening in 2010, and it's been the home ballpark of the Twins, obviously. And the stadium hosts the 2014 All-Star Game, Also serves as the home of other local and regional baseball events. Baseball ballpark is open air, though originally designed for baseball. It hosted football, soccer, hockey games, and concerts. In 2010, ESPN, the magazine, ranked Target Field as the number one baseball stadium experience in North America. That's a high praise, especially since like stadiums like PNC Park, Camden Yards, Oracle Park, and like a few other ones was like around that time. Moving on to number 11. Uh, in my opinion, a beautiful ballpark. I just can't keep my eyes off it. Um, T-Mobile Park, not to be confused with T-Mobile Arena in LA and not LA, Las Vegas. But it is the Mariners Stadium, which is a retractable stadium in Seattle, Washington. Home ballpark of the Seattle Mariners and seating capacity of 47,922 people. Uh, the first game at the stadium was played on July 15th, 1989. During the 90s, suitability of the Mariners' original stadium, the Kingdome, as an MLB facility came under question, and the team's ownership group threatened to relocate the team. In September 1985, King County's voters defeated a ballot measure to secure public funding for a new baseball stadium. Shortly thereafter, the Mariners' first appearance in the MLB postseason and their victory in 1995 MLB League Division Series (ALDS) revived public desire to keep the team in Seattle. As a result, the Washington state legislature approved an alternative means of funding for the stadium with public money. And it was built just south of Kingdome, formerly known as Safeco Field, from 1989 to 2018. Moving on, we are at the top 10 now. I'm going to stop here real quick and talk to you quick. I'm sorry, but I just want to say once again, thank you so much for taking your time to listen to me just talking about my opinion and just listening to like all the crazy stuff I have to say about ballparks. Just again, if you have any questions, reach out. Drop a comment. Uh, we're on YouTube. Just yeah, drop a comment. Let me know like when you're interested in like if you're ever interested in hopping on. You can find us at on YouTube at the Bird's Eye View Podcast 4744. We're located on YouTube. No upcase, no lowercase. That's you just type that in, you'll go straight to us. Or if you want to search us the regular way, go to this is all in caps, the Bird's Eye View Podcast. And shortly we may or may not. We haven't decided yet if we're gonna have a Twitter account for us. But uh just keep in touch and we'll get back on this keep uploading. We usually upload every weekend. I decided to upload on a Monday as just felt free and just felt I wanted to get this topic done. Just felt might be a bit fun for you guys to listen to, our listeners, as we've just been doing Orioles nonstop. I just thought we might just change something around. So dive into number 10, the LA Dodgers. The LA Dodgers uh oh my god. Sorry. Number 10, Petco Park. Petco Park, home of the San Diego Dodgers. Now, you got Juan Soto, of course. Sorry, yeah. Uh, Petco Park, number 10, downtown San Diego, home of Padres. It's been used for as a venue for concerts, soccer, golf, and in fact rugby. Park was opened in 2004, replacing Qualcomm Stadium as a home stadium of the Padres. Um, Southside Stadium is bounded by the San Diego Trolley light rail tracks along the north side of the Harbor Drive, which serves the adjacent San Diego Convention Center. Not much to talk about it, but it is one of the probably I don't want to like say it and like regret it, but I think I'm pretty sure it is the deepest ballpark in the MLB. I mean I do my research, guys. I do my research, but I can't quite remember if it is the farthest ballpark in the MLB or not. If you do know, please like reach out because I'm actually really curious. Uh, but but other than that, just not much to talk about. I mean, cool fact is it's located on Tony Gwynn Drive, named after famous player Tony Gwynn. Uh, no one hit like him. He's a Hall of Famer. Sadly died. Sadly died. In 2014 at the age 54. His nickname Mr. Padre, right fielder, probably one of the greatest hitters of all time. He was very close to beating Ted Williams average record, but due to the strike shortened season, he could not get it to it. Which was in 1984, he was batting 394. That's now let's head on to number 9. Yeah, 9. Let's get out of this quick history real quick and go to number 9. SoFi Stadium. Now, you don't really know what is SoFi Stadium, and I don't even know what a SoFi Stadium is much, but I'm kidding. Uh, dude, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. That was a joke because the Dodgers played there for a small period of time. Obviously, I know SoFi Stadium is not actually their stadium. I was just no. Dodger Stadium is number 9. SoFi Stadium is the Rams Stadium, which is very nice stadium built recently. I'm pretty sure. It's just not recently. Sorry, later back. But I just uh I just wanted to add that in there. That SoFi Stadium at one point, just brief history. SoFi Stadium, the LA Dodgers played there for a brief period of time, like small period of time. So that's why I put it on there. Also, honestly, if SoFi Stadium was an actual MLB stadium, it'd probably be like top 4, honestly, just because how beautiful it is. Honestly, it's very beautiful. But actually, SoFi Stadium, yeah, you're gonna, even though you're a football stadium, you're gonna go number 4 for us, okay? All right, but MLB stadium wise, we're at number 9, which is Dodger Stadium, which is stadium in the Elysian Park neighborhood in LA, home of obviously the LA Dodgers. It is the oldest ballpark in the MLB west of the Mississippi River and third oldest overall after Fenway Park in Boston, which was made in 1912, and Wrigley Field in Chicago, which was made in 1914. It's the largest baseball stadium in the world by seating capacity, often referred as a pitcher's ballpark. Stadium has seen 13 no-hitters, 2 of which were perfect games. Stadium hosted the Major League All-Star Game in 1980 and 2022, as well as games of 10 World Series 1963, 1965, 1966, 1974, 1978, 1988, 2017, and 2018, and 2020, obviously. It also hosted the semifinals and finals of the 2009 and 2017 World Baseball Classics, as well as exhibition baseball during the 1984 Summer Olympics. Same hosted a soccer tournament on August of 2013, featuring 4 clubs: hometown team LA Galaxy, Europe's Real Madrid, Everton, and Juventus. Now, I'm just gonna guess LA got killed. LA Galaxy got killed because I mean I don't actually quite know because I didn't see who actually won, but I'm I'm pretty sure Galaxy lost all their games, and Real Madrid probably killed Everton. Juventus probably killed Everton too. Uh, next is next talk about is LA Kings and Anaheim Ducks played a regular season game in 2014 as part of the NHL Stadium Series, which I honestly think is kind of cool. It's referred to as the Blue Heaven on Earth. It came coined by Dodgers manager. I'll give you a second to guess. All right, Tommy Lasorda, also known as the Chavez Ravine. And diving into quick history. The NHL Stadium Series is one of the series of regular season outdoor games played in the NHL. This event is distinct from the NHL's other two series of outdoor games, with the Winter Classic and Heritage Classic, uh, which is respectively games in stadium series have held in either late January or February or early March in a football or baseball stadium in the United States. The first stadium series held in 2014 and consisted of 7 teams participating in 4 games held in 3 venues. 2015, only 1 game in the stadium series was held, while in 2016, 2 games were held. Since 2017, only 1 game has been scheduled per year. Moving on to number 8. The high and mighty itself, Coors Field, which is a baseball stadium, obviously down in downtown Denver, Colorado, home stadium of the Colorado Rockies, which opened in 1995. It's it's located 2 blocks from Union Station. Just a quick add-on, if you ever want to go down there, you're right near Union Station. Stadium has a capacity of 50,144 people for baseball. And acts an expansion team that began to play in 1993. The Rockies spent their first 2 seasons at Mile High Stadium. During that time, Coors Field was constructed for a cost of $300 million. It includes 63 luxury suites and 4,526 club seats. Coors Field has earned a reputation as a hitter's ballpark due to the effect of Denver's high elevation and semi-arid climate on the distance of bad balls. To combat this, outfield fences were positioned further away from home plate and baseballs used in the park have been pre-stored in humidors. Coors Field hosted a 1998 MLB All-Star Game and 2021 MLB All-Star Game. Coors has also hosted an outdoor hockey game for the 2016 NHL Stadium Series, as we talked about just now, actually, along with numerous concerts. Moving on to number 5, we are now in top 5. I just want to say again, thank you guys for watching again. Sorry, not watching, listening. This is like this is recorded. But feel like I should just say big thank you. Your support means so much to us. Um, that actually means a lot, especially to me, because this is my first podcast I've actually ever done myself. Obviously, Pat does this with me, and I've gone on his podcast. Shout out to Beyond the Ballpark. Pat Moran, great friend of mine, great guy. Check it out. It's about baseball in general. This one's just about the Orioles. But obviously I make mistakes once in a while. I just want to forget you guys to forgive me. Like that like obviously I had a joke once in a while, but sometimes I'll make mistakes and I just want you guys to understand that. But thank you guys for understanding that we make mistakes too. We're human. We're not like robots who just know facts and just blurt them out on when we're talking. But just let's start on top 5 here. And then I'll wrap it up with a quick summary and talk a bit, and then let you guys go. So number 5, Fenway Park. It's a baseball stadium located in Boston, Massachusetts, near Kenmore Square. Since 1912, it's been home of the Boston Red Sox, the American League Baseball team. And since 1953, it's only a Major League Baseball MLB franchise. While the stadium was built in 1912, it was substantially rebuilt in 1934 and underwent major renovations and modifications in the 21st century. It's the oldest active ballpark in MLB. Now, a quick side note to that: the oldest the oldest ballpark currently standing in America is Rickwood Field, which I actually had the pleasure of going to. And it's a beautiful stadium. They still hold games there, like the Savannah Bananas played there. They used to have minor league teams play there, like the Barons. At one point, they had like a baseball MLB Classic, I believe, play there. They just need to get the stadium up to code because it's still like concrete walls out there. So if you get a chance, donate to them. It's a great cause. Getting Rickwood Field back up and running again would be just amazing to see for anybody. Maybe have a classic there, just like they do with Field of Dreams Classic again. Like keep that going. Maybe I really hope we can see the Orioles play there. Big Orioles fan of mine. I'm a big Orioles fan, But just if you have a chance, donate to Rickwood Field. But as we keep going, because of his age and constrained location in Boston's dense Fenway Kenmore neighborhood, the park has many quirks features, including the triangle, quote unquote, the triangle, which is known as the pesky pole, sorry, the triangle, pesky pole, and the green monster in left field. It is the fifth smallest among MLB ballparks by seating capacity and second smallest by total capacity, and one of eighth that cannot accommodate at least 40,000 spectators. Fenway has hosted World Series 11 times, with the Red Sox winning 6 of them, and the Boston Braves winning 1. Besides baseball games, they also have been the site of many other sporting and cultural events, including professional football games, the Boston Redskins, Boston Yanks, and the Boston Patriots. Concerts, soccer, and hockey games such as the 2010 NHL Winter Classic, and political and religious campaigns. On 7th of March in 2012, the Fenway Centennial Year, the park was added to the National Register of Historic Places. Former pitcher Bill Lee has called Fenway Park a shrine. Is is pending a is pending as a Boston landmark, which will regulate any further changes to the park, which honestly kind of concerns me actually. The ballpark is considered to be one of the most well-known sports venues in the world and the symbol of Boston. Going on to number four, I just want to add something quick about Fenway. Um, just it's just a beautiful stadium. I just want to say that it's just beautiful. Yeah. Yeah. Uh, Next we got at number four we got PNC Park, not to be confused with PNC Field, which hosts the Scranton Wilkes-Barre Rail Riders, who are the affiliates of the New York Yankees, which also are in the Pittsburgh metropolitan area or whatever. Like I think it's Scranton. Yes, just yeah, it's like Pittsburgh, Scranton, Wilkes-Barre area, that area, around that area. But this is the Pirate Stadium. It is on the north shore of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It's the fifth home of the Pittsburgh Pirates. It was opened during the 2001 MLB season after the controlled implosion of the Pirates' previous home, Three Rivers Stadium. Which honestly, I thought that same like the name matches the place itself because Three Rivers and all that. PNC Park stands just east of its predecessor along the Allegheny River with a view of the downtown Pittsburgh skyline. That's honestly that in the bridge. That's what makes it so amazing. You can see the skyline, you see the bridge, the P in the outfield. Despite the Pirates sucking, oh my god, they suck. The stadium is beautiful. Um, Constructed of steel and limestone, PNC Park, which has a natural grass playing surface and can seat 38,747 people for baseball events. Plans to build the Pirates plan to build a new stadium for the Pirates originated in 1981, but did not come to fruition for 5 years. Funded in conjunction with Acrisure, Acrisure Stadium and David L. Lawrence Convention Center. Park was built for $260 million in 24 months, faster than most modern stadiums. Built in the retro classic style, modeled after past venues like Pittsburgh's Ford's Field. Now, Forbes Field, probably one of the most famous parks of all time. Beautiful, beautiful park. PNC Park also introduced unique features such as the use of limestone in the building's facade, which is really nice. The park has a riverside concourse, steel truss work, an extensive out-of-town scoreboard, and local eateries. Several tributes to former pirate Roberto Clemente are incorporated into the ballpark, and the nearby 6th Street Bridge was named in his honor. In addition to the Pirates' regular season and postseason home games, PNC Park has hosted other events including the 2006 Major League Baseball All-Star Game and numerous concerts. PNC Financial Services originally purchased the rights in 1980 for $30 million over 20 years, and currently holds the rights through 2031. So we'll see who buys it then. I mean, maybe we'll see PNC buy it again. Maybe we'll see another bank like Wells Fargo or AT&T come and get it. But moving on to numero tres, we have Wrigley Field. Wrigley Field, which is on the north side of Chicago. It is the home of the Chicago Cubs, one of the city's two MLB franchises, as we talked about with Guaranteed Rate Field. It is that was the second. It's opened. It was first opened in 1914 as Wiegand Park for Charles Wiegand's Chicago Whales of the Federal League, which folded after the 1915 baseball season. The Cubs played their first home game at the park on April 20th, 1916, defeating the Cincinnati Reds 7-6 in 11 innings. Chewing gum magnate William Wrigley Jr. of the Wrigley Company acquired the Cubs in 1921. It was named Cubs Park from 1920 to 1926, before being renamed Wrigley Field in 27. The current seating capacity is 41,649 people. It is currently actually the second stadium to be named Wrigley Field, as a Los Angeles ballpark with the same name opened in 1925. As we know, Wrigley Field, known for its ivy. Wrigley Field is also nicknamed the Friendly Confines, a phrase popularized by Mr. Cub, Hall of Fame shortstop, and first baseman Ernie Banks. The oldest park in the National League is the second oldest in the majors after Fenway, and the only remaining Federal League park. The park was designated a National Historic Landmark in 2020. Wrigley Field is known for its ivy-covered brick outfield wall, as I talked earlier, the unusual wind patterns off Lake Michigan, the iconic red marquee over the main entrance, and the hand-turned scoreboard. Its location, a primarily residential neighborhood with no parking lots, views from the rooftops behind the outfield, for being the last Major League Park to have lights installed for night games in 1988. Between 1921 and 1970, it was also the home of the Chicago Bears of the NFL and was home of the Chicago Cardinals, now the Arizona Cardinals of the NFL, 1931 to 1938. The elevation of its playing field is 600 feet above sea level. That's just a fun side note. Moving on to number 2. Now, this park, there's 2 parks left. I think I just gotta say it now. Oracle Park. Oracle Park, Major League Stadium, located in the Soma neighborhood of the in San Francisco, California. Since 2000, it has been the home of the San Francisco Giants, previously named Pacific Bell Park, SBC Park, and AT&T Park. I honestly mainly know it as AT&T Park and Oracle Park. The stadium's current name was purchased by the Oracle Corporation in 2019. The stadium stands along the San Francisco Bay, which we know. The section of the bay beyond Oracle Park's right field wall is unofficially known as McCovey Cove in honor of former Giants player Willie McCovey, and that's probably the most famous part about the stadium. I just want to have a quick side note. One of my favorite announcers of all time actually announces there. It's more of a radio announcer there. John Miller. He is a he is an anal he's a announcer on radio mainly, but he comes in every once in a while as a play-by-play or color analyst for them. Uh, Oracle Park also hosted professional and collegiate American football games. The stadium was the home of the annual college postseason bowl game, now known as the Redbox Bowl. From its inaugural playing in the 2002 until 2013, it also served as a temporary home for the University of California's football team in 2011. Professionally, it was the home of San Francisco Demons of the XFL and the California Redwoods of the UFL. I think now I have to move on to number one, but before we move on to number one, I just want to talk about the former names quick. So former names, Pacific Bell Park was there 2000, 2003, SBC Park was 2004, 2005, and AT&T Park was there 2006 to 2018. Fun fact about AT&T, sorry, Oracle Park. When it was named AT&T Park, it was commonly um, confused with AT&T Stadium, which is the Dallas Cowboy Stadium in Dallas, Texas. But let's move on to number one. My favorite stadium of all time. My opinion, the best stadium of all time. Now, I'm worried if you guys don't agree with me. You probably already know what it is. Oriole Park at Camden Yards. Baseball stadium located in Baltimore, Maryland, home field of Major League Baseball's Baltimore Orioles and the first of the retro Major League ballparks constructed during the 1990s and early 2000s. It was completed in 1992 to replace Memorial Stadium. I miss you, Memorial Stadium. And a brief history about Memorial Stadium. Let's go and have a brief history about Memorial Stadium. It was a multi-purpose stadium in Baltimore, Maryland that formerly stood on 33rd Street, aka 33rd Street Boulevard, renamed Babe Ruth Plaza, on an oversized block, officially designated as Venable Park, a former city park from the 1920s, also bounded by Ellerslie Avenue, West 36th Street, and Ednor Road. Two stadiums were located here. 1922 version known as Baltimore Stadium or Municipal Stadium, sometimes Venable Stadium, and for a time Babe Ruth Stadium. In reference to the then recently deceased Baltimore native, the rebuilt multi-sport stadium, when reconstruction was completed in the middle of 1954, would become known as Memorial Stadium. The stadium was also known as the Old Gray Lady of 33rd Street, and also for Colts games as the world's largest outdoor insane asylum. Now that's just a quick fresher there. Teams it's hosted the Baltimore Orioles, an International League, Baltimore Orioles American League, United States Congressional Baseball Game, Blue Bay Sox Eastern League, Baltimore Colts AAFC, Baltimore Colts NFL, Miami vs. New Orleans NFL preseason game, Baltimore Stallions / Baltimore FC CFL, um, Baltimore Ravens NFL game. And also hosted Baltimore City College vs. Baltimore Polytechnic Institute Thanksgiving Day game. And the covered Hall College versus Loyola Blakefield Thanksgiving Day game, known as the Turkey Bowl, and the Baltimore City College vs. Baltimore Polytechnic Institute was known as City vs. Poly or Poly vs. City. Moving back to Camden Yards, the stadium is in downtown Baltimore, a few blocks west of the Inner Harbor and the Camden Sports Complex. It is known as Camden Yards, also Oriole Park Kim Yards. Known honestly, it was no stadium that the Orioles that there was another park called Oriole Park, but a lot of people still call Oriole Kim Yards Oriole Park as it is called Oriole Park Kim Yards. Some people call it Kim Yards, some people call it Oriole Park, some call it Oriole Park Kim Yards, some people just call it Baltimore Stadium. I've heard people call it Baltimore Stadium. Honestly, yeah, I've heard people call it Baltimore Stadium. But prior to Kim Yards, the predominant design trend of big league ballparks was symmetrical, multi-purpose stadium. Memorial Stadium, the Orioles' home since they moved from St. Louis in 1954, was an early example of such a design. In 1984, the Colts moved to Indianapolis in part because Baltimore, Maryland officials refused to commit money for replacement for Memorial Stadium. Not wanting to risk losing the Orioles and Baltimore's status as a major league city in its own right, city and state officials immediately began planning a new park in order to keep them in town. The master plan was designed by International Design from RTKO. The stadium design was completed by the architectural firm HOK Sport, which had pioneered retro ballparks on the minor league level for years, 4 years earlier, with Pilot Field in Buffalo, New York. HOK Sports' original design was very similar to the new Comiskey Park. However, at the urging of architectural consultant Janet Marie Smith, Orioles turned it down, preferring a retro-style park. Smith had been hired by Orioles president and CEO Larry to Lucchino to represent the team as Orioles VP of Planning and Development in the design of the ballpark. The Baltimore-based firm Ashton Design was brought onto the project to develop the signage, graphics, illustrations, and logos that dot the stadium, as well as the 19th century style clock above the scoreboard, which I personally love. Ashton's vintage designs, which echo the team's turn of the century origins, proved influential, and the firm was called upon to complete similar redesigns of Fenway Park and Dodger Stadium. Constructions began in 1989 and lasted 33 months. Former Orioles owner Eli Jacobs favored naming new field Oriole Park, while then Maryland Governor William Donald Schaefer favored Camden Yards. After a considerable debate, a compromise was reached, and it was decided that both names would be used. That is pretty much it. Just a brief talk. First All-Star game there was in 1993. People witnessed Eddie Murray's famous 500 home run there. Harrigan's record setting 2,131st consecutive games. A lot of other things. That's why I really think Oriole Park's the greatest park there is. Now I have a question for my listeners. Comment down below. What is your favorite ballpark? Why? And tell tell me like an experience you've had there, or like if you're fine with that, like tell me experience what you've had there. Because I'm curious to know like what are my listeners' favorite ballparks, and like do they like I also want to know like do you guys agree with what I have to say about the um the ballpark? So um we're gonna sign off. Gonna sign off. See